Hello, and we are live. Well, folks, starting a little bit earlier tonight, so I assume some of the chat will be joining us a little bit later because our start time these weeks has been 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S., but Mr. Brown ended a little bit earlier tonight, so we're going to go with the flow. And in fact, for our UK folks, it's probably a little bit better to start a little earlier. Tonight, The Fifth Element. Beautiful film, both visually, interesting story, and just, fun all around. We're going to be going through the film as well as taking a look at the music, which was composed by Eric Serra, a Frenchman who collaborated on a number of projects with Luc Bessen, who is the director of the film and also in the credits wrote the story. So we're going to have some guests on in just a moment, but I first want to make an announcement. Those of you who have been joining us at this later time the past few weeks, well, guess what? Next week we'll be back to our normal time. Nothing will change for folks in the UK. Our start time will be after Mr. Brown Alliance, after musings on Sunday evenings. But a couple weeks ago, we in the United States set our clocks ahead an hour for daylight savings. And so we've been starting an hour later so that we could continue to start at the end of Mr. Brown's musings. But fortunately, next week on Sunday, March 30th, in the wee hours of Sunday morning, Mr. Brown himself will be climbing up Big Ben, and he'll be swinging that hour hand around to the next hour. At 2 a.m., he will magically make it 3 a.m., and you folks will be going ahead an hour, which means we get to go back to our regular time in North and South America, basically everywhere except for the UK. But in any case, for you folks in the UK, it won't change one bit, but we'll be starting at our regular time, 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain, and 4:30 Pacific. All righty. We are still waiting on one guest, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce the guests that are here. Please welcome this gentleman here, master of the Native American flute, the sitar, and guitar, as well as dombra and all sorts of other things. Please welcome Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley. Howdy, Mike.
I'm on stage.
Howdy,
Howdy, Lawrence.
Hey. So I heard last night you were at a PX3 concert.
I did go see PX3 in Asheville last night. It was great as always, but I hate to. These kind of concerts start late, so it's like 1 in the morning when it ends. So I really hate to fork out money for a hotel at 1 in the morning. It's a 2.5-hour drive. So
Wow.
Anyway, I'm a little loopy today, but I did see the movie Friday night. Great movie. I loved it.
Yeah.
And that says a lot that I watched it all straight through because I'm not good at watching long movies.
Well, it doesn't let you down. The pacing is it right from the start. It's just on and it doesn't stop.
It was great. So I'm a little out of it today. I'm going to hang as long as I can. So I'm really glad we started early.
Yeah. So anyway, please also welcome Liza Sahido from the Psyche Electroacoustic Opera Company.
Prepare for torture!
Sorry, that was not her intro. Oh
No,
man,
what did we miss there, Lawrence?
my videos have gotten out of order. Prepare for torture. Here we go.
Hey, are you making fun of my looks here?
No.
I am
Oh, I
in
love this new
avatar mode
avatar.
today. Oh, thank you, Mike. This
Yeah,
avatar was made in Max 9. Woo!
Well, I kind of feel, more like you're here, Whereas, some people have some like, crazy cat avatar thing or something,
Oh, yeah? Oh.
well, we'll see. When our kitties come
I
in
like
later, they
cat
might make an
avatars.
appearance.
Yes.
So
Common
anyway,
people said you made a Freudian slip, mister.
I did or he did.
no, I think that was in reference to the Flash Gordon clip.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. I
It
agree.
won't be me suffering punishment
Yeah,
after the
yeah,
story.
yeah. I have to agree. I thought there was something maybe we, weren't supposed to see there.
Well, I might as well announce that we do have another guest. Probably will be joining us a little bit later because since we're starting early, he probably didn't get the memo. That's why everyone should watch Mr. Brown Alliance before the stream. That way you can start on time with us. Musings every Sunday. Link in the description. Mr. Brown has been very good to our channel and has helped us.
Indeed.
And helped Earworms get its launch. So anyway, I'm going to move along here because we do have a lot of slides, and this is going to be a two-parter. This is a 2-week thing because I originally was thinking, okay, we'll focus on some of the great musical moments, and that's it. But it's like, no.
No, this is a really good movie.
No. And so we're going to give it our usual thorough going over.
Mister, you got a super chat from Common People.
Common People, the chairman of the board.
The chairman of the board is back.
Yes, so could you do the honors, Liza?
He's asking, does Lauren support Real Madrid? I may have to rethink my donations.
No, this is not Real Madrid. The jersey I'm wearing is a gift from my father-in-law, Liza's father. It's Fly Emirates. He got it when he was going abroad to France and working there. I have no idea who it is. I do like football, world football, and what we call
You mean
soccer here.
right?
Come
Real
on,
football.
folks. We have people from the UK here who well, it is a sport that does involve the feet more than our football, so I think it's appropriate.
Look, man.
But in any case, I have no idea
They
who.
got Andy Capp and rugby, man.
I have no idea what Fly Emirates is, but he got it in France. And since we're doing a Luc Bessen film tonight, and Eric Serra is also French, I thought I'll put it on, even though I have no idea who they are. And but no, I'm not a Real Madrid supporter. I don't know that I am a supporter of any of the teams. I do like World Cup play and the national teams and stuff, and so I'm in the U.S., so I do support the U.S. in that, even though it's been rough again. The early 2000s got good for a little bit there, and then, but, there's a lot of countries that I like. So I do like Ireland, but it's been a rough, it's been rough. So anyway, enough football talk, but let us move on with the film. We actually are going to talk about Eric Serra first. And so let's call up the slides here. And there we go. Here is Eric Serra, the composer of the score for The Fifth Element. And he did a lot of scores for Luc Besson films. And most of them between like 1985. Well, I have a few of them here, but mostly between 1985 up to 2014. And so let's look at some of the films that Eric Serra scored. This would be the first big one. There was one before this that he worked on with Besson, but this was the first one that was, I guess, what you would consider a bigger film, Subway from 1985. And he actually did appear in the film as a bass player, which is also his instrument.
Cool.
Eric Serra is a composer. He can work with just about everything, and that's one thing about The Fifth Element. The score is so eclectic. I mean, he does pop music as well as, film score music and everything. And there's a lot of pop elements in what he did. And the score is very 90s. That's definitely true.
Eclectic, but not in the way of Lady Hawk, where things don't
No.
fit together.
Oh my God, no,
The
no.
This
eclectic
is
uses of the DX7.
yes, this is eclectic in a way that meshes well with the film, which is very
Yes.
hard to do. The only thing that I think felt out of place were the end credit music, but that's just
that
me.
that was him too. That was one of that pop tune at the end was one he composed.
It could have
Uh,
just been the way they introduced it, that it felt out of place with the film, but everything else, just flowed well with the film, and you didn't notice that he was changing genres at the drop of a hat. It was pretty cool.
The Big Blue. And if you see the French version of it, blue is spelled with the E and the U reversed, kind of like blue cheese.
Cool.
But anyway, this is not one that I've seen, but now that I've reacquainted myself with The Fifth Element, and also this week I did decide to take a look at Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Uh, that one was interesting. I definitely prefer The Fifth Element, but that was a very visually stunning film. The story was a little for me, but I've been checking out these Besson films. One I am familiar with is Leon the Professional, and this I thought was a very good film. Had a young Natalie Portman in it, and great story. And this one, Eric Serra did also do the score for this in 1994. Those were the days. Good old 94. And he also did the score for GoldenEye. Now, this one is kind of controversial because a lot of Bond fans felt that the score for this film was just not up to snuff, and I could definitely see their point. I mean, when you're doing James Bond, you really want to keep it Bond, and there's a legacy of great music and scores in the overall James Bond lineage that it's one thing to experiment, but for the whole score, it really did depart from what Bond fans have loved about
Kind
how
of
the
what
music
happened
worked.
with Star Trek Enterprise. We got Rod Stewart in a
Oh
theme
yeah.
instead of what we expected.
There's
Yeah,
a tradition involved.
yeah,
It's been a long time. No,
yeah. We should have
that's
karaoke week one of these weeks,
and
and you
my
could.
time is finally near. No,
Well,
that
you're
is
singing
not
it.
Star Trek.
They accomplished their mission. You're singing it.
Yeah, no, but it's not Star Trek. No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, GoldenEye is something that also can bring up a lot of other discussions with James Bond. But yeah, the score was controversial, and in fact, they brought in another composer to rescore some sequence in the movie and so forth. So, well,
Ouch.
that was a bit rough there, I guess. And then, of course, The Fifth Element, which we're doing tonight. We'll be hearing some of the moments here, and um, the the elephant in the room is that great scene with the opera singer.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
and
Oh
yes,
man.
that was Eric Serra composing, and he also did the poppy version that it transitioned to, and released that as a single and stuff too.
That
Um,
is crazy. What's amazing is the transition between the two parts of the aria. It was crazy awesome. And I
It
remember this
worked.
being yeah. I remember that scene being a big deal in my choir class in high school. All the girls were talking about it, and there was a girl who did a lot of research into the movie, and she said that the singer, I don't remember what her name was.
I can look it
She
up.
She tried to perform everything, including the parts that were her sampled and played on a keyboard. She tried to perform those parts as well. She tried to perform everything. And that's why I guess it seemed so convincing when she was, the parts that couldn't have possibly been her. It seemed convincing because she actually tried to perform those parts that could only be executed by a keyboard. So
Wow,
very cool beans.
that's impressive.
Well, the singing voice was Inva Mula, who it was an Albanian opera singer.
Incredible soprano, just such a clear voice. Vibrato is not overdone. Sings
Yeah,
into
the character on screen though was Maïwen LeBlanc, or no, Lebesso.
Oh, really?
Lebesco.
I thought the singer was the character in
No,
the film.
no,
Okay.
no. Well, definitely the actress who performed the role on screen did embody the performance very well.
She did.
Oh,
Very well.
100%. Oh yeah, this altogether was incredible. Yeah.
Alrighty, so let us move on here. Just a couple more films, and then we'll get on our Fifth Element. I wonder what happened to Swappers. In a moment, I will stop over to X and DM them and just say hello.
Hello.
Okay, The Lady, 2011. This is also a film I have not seen, but I don't know. I think it's something that's probably worth checking out. And then I believe this is the final one on this list, Lucy, 2014. Also a film I have not seen, but I guess I should, but there's only so many films I can see in a week.
That
And I did
makes
the
two of us.
Yeah, and I did The Fifth Element 3 times this week.
Wow.
Well, I had to
Good movie.
one time is to make the slides,
Right.
and alrighty. So anyway, that's some of Eric Serra's work. This is a band that he started. Now, interesting, the name is because if you pronounce these letters in a French way, and I know I'm going to butcher this, but let's say Eric Serra, it's basically like saying Eric Serra, Eric Serra, and that's basically where he got the name from.
Huh.
Yeah. And so
Innovative.
we are going to start the film now, but in our next break, in between slides, we will hear some music from the band. So we're going to check that out. I want to space things out so that way we have some things to come in between the slides, because when I change the slides, it's nice to have something else as a palate cleanser, so to speak. So anyway, here we go. Columbia Pictures. And let us move along. It's a Gaumont production. This is the production company that Luc Bessen, the director, founded. And so this is his production company. And it's a film by Luc Bessen. There you go. Starring Bruce Willis. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing that part in the way he did it for Corbin Dallas. It was like he has the humor, but he also has the action star presence,
Most definitely.
and he embodied the role. You get the feel that he was somebody that was in the military, and he portrayed that very well.
Oh, come on. Patrick Stewart could have done it too.
Patrick Stewart. Well, I think he could have done it, but
Or Brent Spiner. I would have so loved to see Brent Spiner as Corbin. Why the hell not? The guy's so talented.
Liza is a
Oh,
Star Trek
William
maximalist.
Shatner would have killed it
Oh.
too. Oh,
Well, in '97, I don't know. He was probably doing. I think at that time he was doing like Boston Legal or something like that.
was he?
Yeah,
He
and
was on television. Oh, Oh no, Jonathan Frakes for sure.
Oh, not every
Oh.
role needs to be from somebody who participated in Star Trek at some point.
Oh. Why not? Oh.
Oh,
Anyways, other people besides Bruce Willis could have done it and done a good job. I would have gone and
maybe.
paid to see Patrick Stewart do it.
But I don't know. Bruce Willis did it for me here. And then Gary Oldman in there. We'll be seeing his character coming up. I think he did a great job too. And the great Ian Holm.
Ian Holm. I think they all did a great job.
Yep. Mila Jovovich. I think this is probably one of her first roles. Definitely early on. And wow. I clipped some of the media clips we're going to play are not just music. Some of it is going to be like some moments where she really, embodying this role as like the supreme being coming into corporal form and just trying to figure out being human and everything. And it's been 5,000 years since she's been in corporal form, and just the way she did it was like, it was endearing. Some great comic moments. Chris Tucker. Now that role.
Yeah.
The hardest part for Liza is she didn't understand what he was saying half the time.
I had a hard time following what he said. It's just he was talking so fast in his accent. I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Accent.
He does have an accent. How else would you, or inflections or
And
whatever?
Luke Perry in this cameo.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right, so
Guess they were trying to capitalize on the 90210 thing or something. We'll get Luke Perry in there.
yeah, maybe. And of course, music by Eric Serra. As we see the earth above us there. I have been known for capturing the slides of all the opening credits, but I think some of these people, it's great to mention because, it looks like another French name here. Jean-Paul Gaultier. Costumes. The costumes definitely were strong. A bit over the top maybe, but it made the film work for what it was.
Oh, Scott, I haven't seen her in Resident Evil, but yeah, you're right. I remember ads seeing her as the star in Resident Evil.
Oh.
I think for sure, I'm pretty sure it was after The Fifth Element, though.
Yeah, my memory isn't as great as it used to be. Co-producer Ian Smith. All right, so we're getting everybody in here. Let's move on here, editor. And the editing was definitely fast-paced. So, this editor did a good job. It really flowed. In some cases, it wasn't until the third time watching it that I figured some things out. It was just, I guess, that fast-moving, though. Production design. Okay, yeah. Let's move on. And director of photography. Oh, now that does deserve a mention. The cinematography or photography was amazing. And very beautiful. So, throughout the film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Screenplay, Luc Bessen. And there we see story by Luc Bessen. So he's a writer as well as a director. And produced by a lot of French people. In fact, I did read something. If somebody in the chat knows, please clue me in here. There was a term for this style of film. It's a French style, but I forget what it was. But it had its own kind of like term for it. Film de something. And directed it as well. Okay, so we see a comment coming in. We know it's a comment because it has a tail, or maybe not. It looks reddish. That might be more than ice crystals. But anyway, something's coming. And there we go. Desert scenery. Beautiful stuff.
Egypt.
And yes.
1914.
Yes, exactly. Those were the days. That's when people used to explore Egypt and find stuff. And there we go.
Was this around the time they produced Stargate?
Stargate was
Is that a little later?
Was close in time to this. Here, let me look that up real quick. When was Stargate released? I know it was 90s. Oh, great.
Or was it?
October 28th, 1994. So it was 3 years before.
Oh, really? Before?
Before.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I remember both these films, like first time I caught it was on TBS or TNT, one of those Turner channels in the 90s. They played these movies a lot, both Stargate as well as The Fifth Element. Let me see here. I am going to see, let's see, I'm looking for World of Swap Shop here. Let's see. I'll be on, but I'll be delayed by about 15, 20 minutes, just to let you know. Okay. And that might be 15, 20 minutes from our original start time. So yeah, he'll be here.
He'll be here.
Welcome him with open arms. All righty.
Yes, we will.
And here we go. Here's some Desert Children. And that kid that you saw in the frame before is coming in with some water, as we'll see. And here we're coming into the town. Yeah, definitely imagery similar to Stargate. And the lighting was really good. I know it may look a little fuzzy on our screen here, but that's it definitely is very clear in the film. And so the kid comes in. He's kind of cautious about it. He's bringing water in for the professors here. And there's his friend Aziz with the mirror. Yeah, and this is how they got light into, the pyramids and stuff when they were building the interiors and stuff too. Using mirrors. Either that or Baghdad batteries. We don't know.
I think it's the batteries.
We'll see. Anyway, here's the professor. Professor is looking at some inscriptions here. He's yelling at Aziz to get the mirror sorted. There's his assistant. Guy causes trouble later. All right, so Professor's looking at some inscriptions here, which we are going to see in a moment. And yes, some basically the 3 planets are in eclipse or witnessing an eclipse, and then from that a black hole opens up, and out from the black hole comes evil, which is shaped like a serpent. Yes, evil. And
like a planet in the film. Where was the serpent thing going?
Oh, that's this. It's hard to do slides because it's panning down, but that's kind of like the serpent outline.
Yeah.
Well, no, the serpent wasn't in the film. This is just how it was represented, so to speak.
Would have been easy enough to represent it like a big dark planet as a hieroglyph.
Well, you don't know who's doing the hieroglyphing. People that are hearing the stories, or, it wasn't the Mono Chiwas, who we'll be meeting in a moment, but those are the people that would really know what's going on. And, the humans on Earth are probably just trying to figure it out. And so that's why we have the mythologies that we have.
Yeah.
They see things from space.
Oh, Flav. Snakes get such a bad rep. They're not evil. They're just reptiles.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, we'll just say evil things like to take the form of serpents. For some reason.
Biblically speaking.
Yes, I guess.
And here we go. We have a priest.
It also represents medicine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, the venom
among
from
other
snakes
things
is used for antidotes.
Yep.
So
well,
anyway,
the snake in that medical symbol is also used to represent DNA, which tells you something about humans.
Yep.
man, Swap Shop's going to love these discussions. No, he will. He will. He's into this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Cool
anyway,
beans.
there is the fifth element. Now, at this point, they're all thinking it's a guy. There's the fifth element, the supreme being in the middle, and
Well, that
four
would be
stones.
typical guy thinking, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. And four um, stones on the corners, basically representing the four elements, and the fifth element in the middle. And this guy's kind of like interpreting all this. And this guy's like, he knows too much. They know too much already. And he has a bit of a, even though he's a kind of a good guy, he has a little bit of a kind of a naughty plan here. He thinks, in order to preserve this secret, we need to kill this guy. So he's got some poison there that he intends to poison him with. And
Yeah. He's functioning off the R complex here. Not so great.
yep,
You're not supposed to be a priest and function off of R complex.
R complex, R standing for reptilian,
Yes.
the reptile
Reptilian
brain,
brain. Our brainstem.
pure survival instincts.
Yes.
And so
Center of fear.
he poisons the water, and the professor's still looking at the stuff, and in realizing some of the things there, he realizes that man, I could become famous. And that's what the priest says. Yeah, let's drink to that. Looking for any excuse to try and get some poison in him. But fortunately, well, for the time being, the professor does not take a sip. He's like, no, we should have champagne instead. And so he sends his assistant out and tosses away the water, and the assistant goes for some champagne. And what is this? This is Igapapa. Irapapa. Crappa. No,
Grappa.
that says, grappa. Oh, yeah.
Grappa.
Grappa Vina or something.
Vinacina. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Could use some of that.
Yeah, I could. And
So could he. He's like, man, I'm parched. Give me that.
Spumante version, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys are making me hungry. I know we're talking about wine, but yeah, food.
Food.
Yeah.
But something's happening. We can see it on his face. Basically, shadows are coming around, and there's a low rumble about.
He
And
knows.
and people start getting worried, even the desert children. Ooh, what do we have here? Flav. What's Flav got to say? Something about grapes.
Grappa, he says that grappa is a brandy.
Oh,
Ooh.
Star Wars Retold. This would be
Yes.
the aforementioned swap shop.
Do you have the link to the stream? Can't seem to find the old one. Apologies.
All right.
It happened.
I hope our chat doesn't mind. I need to take time to get the link here to Swappers. But there you saw Star Wars Retold. If you're seeing us on the rewind, that is an avatar you want to click on.
Absolutely. Go click on it right now.
Where's that intermission music from the Holy Grail? We need it right now.
The organ.
Yeah, I can't do an organ.
So, Liza, talk about something. I'm busy in another screen here trying to get Swappers on board.
Something is very interesting.
Yes.
Something is very interesting.
Something is very interesting.
Oh, Mike, I heard some of your latest works today. Introspection is very interesting. Folks, definitely go down in the description and find Mike's link. Check out his channel.
Yeah.
You've had two pieces recently that use
Spoken word.
and tank drums. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, hand drums?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hand drums. Metallic sounding drums. Really
Yes.
cool.
Thanks. Will it go to my email or Twitter chat? He's asking.
I'm going to go to X.
X.
Right. Yep. Or Twitter, whichever you want to call it.
Woo.
And by the way, I should mention that to folks. If you are on X, you can follow me there, and I could get you into the earworms group. And also follow World of Swap Shop. There we go, swappers. The link is there.
There we go.
The DM on X. On X, I'm at the Wayfarer Proj. That's the Wayfarer Project without the ECT because it's too long for the username. Okay, so here we are. We're back to whatever. Oh yeah, I left it on a great slide. There's Aziz sleeping or something. It's getting dark. Let's move along here. And there we go.
There's that little ship.
I think they did a great job with the ship.
I do too. It's badass.
Yeah. And landing like that, the sound and just the whole feeling was
Oh yeah.
pretty striking. And Professor's kind of like still wrapped up in his work. There we go. There's the engines. Although, pretty interesting symbology, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still thinking about this thing here. This, I guess that is the big ball that we'll see later. And he's wondering about that.
There we go.
What?
No, finally, they represent the evil planet thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And there we go. And they shine some light on the subject. It was getting dark for the professor, and he was yelling at Aziz, but Aziz did nothing to do with it. It's the Monochiwas lighting up their stuff, and it's like, And this guy's, as you'll see, he's kind of nervous because he's supposed to be like the protector of this knowledge. And here they come. Here they come.
Here they come.
Beetle guys. It's the Beatles.
The Beatles.
And the first thing he asks them is, are you German? Okay, well, German engineering. There we go. And this guy's like saying, look, I was going to take care of it. I know they found out too much, but I'm going to take care of it. I was going to handle it. But these guys aren't really so concerned about that. They're just saying that you've done a great job for us this whole time, but we need to take the stones from Earth because Earth is it's not a safe place for the stones. So this ancient knowledge will be taken away. Not just ancient knowledge, but the artifacts, the 4 stones that represent the 4 elements. And the robotics here was really good. They seemed like real, you know.
Were these puppets?
I believe so, because I mean, it looked like real robotics, but I don't think they had the ability to do that then. I mean, and they moved in a way that was kind of like on cue and expressive, like the way the heads moved and the way they turned the heads and so forth when they're talking with the humans. It just looked like it had to be choreographed in a way that it was probably puppetry. It's probably people in there, you know.
Yeah,
moving
kind
the head
of.
and
Yeah.
A little bit smoother than the what do you call that? Than the Dark Crystal, but
Yeah, it did give me a kind of Dark Crystal kind of vibe here. But I know that the aliens later, I think the facial expressions of the aliens that look like Vorgons, I think that was kind of done with robotics. I know in the 90s that kind of tech was used in costuming.
okay, cool. I just tested the link that I sent swappers and it works. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't send him a bad link.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah.
He's probably getting together his avatar. He's known for
That's important.
some interesting avatars.
Cool beans.
All right, and so we move on. And they were basically looking at this room, this hidden room that was opened earlier with the key. and that's representing the fifth element right there, that statue, and the four stones representing the other four elements are around it, and they basically go in and start collecting the stones because the Earth is not safe for this anymore. I believe that could be air right there, like the wind blowing, and they grab them. And the arms and the hands grabbing the stones was very, very realistic. It was great shooting and how they did that. And they're packing up the stones in this box, a chest that will be making an appearance as we go on. And folks, we are in the presence of greatness. Please welcome aboard. Oh, let me get the intro. Gotta get an intro. I think this is the most appropriate one here. No, not torture again. Please welcome the world of Swap Shop.
Hey, how are we doing?
Yay!
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 I can't believe you showed that clip again. People are going to start thinking that's me with that windy box in the street. Everybody.
Why? I mean,
It's not.
Oh well, why not? Why not? Yeah, sure, it's me.
Well,
Why not?
there's some things you got to do to raise money for Star Wars Retold.
That's right, and that's the coolest way, I think.
Why didn't I think of this? I'm gonna have to go and get my mate's Darth Vader outfit now and go and busk somewhere. Let's see if I can raise some funds.
Well, we do have one in the Florida Keys. There is a Darth Vader guy that plays the banjo.
Oh, amazing! I'd love to see that.
Holy cow, man! You got to get some video of that. Is he on YouTube?
Yeah, actually, you could probably find it. I've seen like documentaries on the Keys, and and he was in it.
Darth Vader with a banjo.
Yeah,
I got to see this.
I gotta sell him one of my cigar box guitars. You'll get a bigger audience with that.
I just want to hear the Imperial March on a redneck instrument.
Yeah,
Cool beans.
there you go.
What, the hurdy-gurdy isn't redneck enough?
Oh yeah, that's what it's called, isn't it? Hurdy-gurdy.
I tell you, I live in Tennessee. I don't see a lot of hurdy-gurdy guys on the street corners.
Really? Oh,
No.
I imagine there were a lot of them.
Is the hurdy-gurdy members clubs around there anyway?
No, that's too
enthusiasts?
fancy.
You should start one.
Maybe you should, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so folks, there is a link in the description for Star Wars Retold. Swappers joined us 2 weeks ago.
Thank you very much.
And gave us an intro. We will be rejoining with him. We'll coordinate it like timing. We got to get the timing right, but we should have an episode where we actually start talking about the story you wrote. But it's great to get people a
Amazing
chance.
story. Oh my god. I can't believe that episode 5 is not out. I was like, oh my god, I need the next one. It's addictive.
Well, that gives me a lot of motivation to hear that there are people waiting to hear the next one. That's really nice to hear.
Absolutely.
I just finished the script for it, so it shouldn't be too long.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but definitely we'll get the timing right because we want to give people enough time that haven't started it yet to start because we don't want to do spoilers. But I mean, there's definitely some things to talk about with the story. And I mean, the scene with Snoke and Kylo Ren, I started to like the characters now. Whereas I didn't before, but
Invested in Kylo Ren, I would have never thought. Oh my gosh.
Well, more so
brilliant.
Snoke, because Snoke was great in that scene.
There was some untapped depth to the characters I thought wasn't realised in the films. I thought, well, obviously I've got a lot to work with, and I'm gonna dive right into that and develop those characters a bit more. But since you mentioned that scene, actually, I don't think anyone had noticed, but in when Kylo Ren gets tortured in that moment, spoilers. I actually used the audio clip from Han Solo getting tortured by Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back, and I kind of modified it so you can.
Wow.
It's his son getting tortured in the same way, if you like.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wow.
different source of the electricity.
Yeah, yeah.
All righty. So we are going to come back to where we were in the film. So, but I guess I should give you a chance here, Swappers. I announced that we were doing this film this week. You say, hey, you have room on the panel. I'd like to come. So I assume you really like this film.
I do. Absolutely do. I never get tired of watching it, ever. It always seems so fresh to me, even though it is derivative of other things. And it does take a lot of its influence from the heavy metal animated movie from like 40 years ago, whenever it was. If you watch that film, you can see a lot of parallels in this that they're taken directly from it, or Luc Besson took directly from it. I mean, the original comic was French, I think, anyway, Metal Hurlant. But so Luc Besson's obviously French, and he's obviously a big fan. So it's kind of an adaptation of a heavy metal story, I guess. And it works so well as a standalone movie. I'm just amazed it hasn't sprung any sequels or any other, any offshoots off since that film, because it was such a brilliantly realized universe with great characters and a totally new original idea as well, as far as films go. It wasn't another Star Wars film. It wasn't another Tron film or, something we've already seen. So that's what made it so fresh and exciting for me to go and see it. I thought I was on the jumping on point of a whole new franchise, but we only got one film, sadly.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if Luc Besson would have, I've been calling him Besson this whole time, but Luc Besson, if he would have done it, then great. Now, I don't know about nowadays, if somebody else takes it over, then I don't know if I'd be too.
Yeah. I know. We know how that goes these days.
We don't need a prequel or reboot or sequel. Let's
my God,
leave the Fifth Element alone.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I was doing the list of films that Eric Serra composed for, a lot of them are Luc Besson films. Are there any of those that you also enjoyed?
I haven't seen that many Luc Besson films, to be honest with you. Did he do Run Lola Run? Was that Luc Besson?
Not from what I've read. But he like the other one that I did see before this week was Leon the Professional.
Oh, of course, Leon. Yeah, of course. I've seen that one. Fantastic, obviously. God, that goes back a bit now. Yeah.
Yeah, here in the U.S., it was just called The Professional.
I know. That's what I remember it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Natalie Portman in that movie, like her debut.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible job. Absolutely incredible job.
They were just on the edge there with some of those scenes, and like,
I know.
because she was so young, and it's like,
That was such a hardcore kind of violent adult movie for such a sort of an innocent little girl to be in amongst all that violence and mayhem. But it worked. It worked really well. But when he gets it right, Besson just makes amazing stuff. And Fifth Element went from the Professional or Leon to the Fifth Element, and the Fifth Element he was speaking directly to me because I'm just number one sci-fi addict. And I just thought, wow, we're combining like his sensibilities as a director writer into a complete sci-fi universe. This can only be great, And I honestly did love it from beginning to end. And there we go. I got exactly what I wanted from a Luc Besson movie.
Yes, and also we do enjoy the whole relationship between science fiction and the ancient world.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I loved about this film. Is the starting was great. It was kind of like a sort of sci-fi Indiana Jones in a way. I love that.
And we're still here, so I guess we'll pick up here because I know Mike will probably need to be departing us shortly. But definitely, folks, check out Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley. Links in the description. And
we'll be back to regular time next week, thankfully.
Yes.
And there's still part 2, so I'm not going to miss it all because it is a great movie.
Yes, it is. And all right, so let's rampage forward. Here we go. So, yeah, this is where it's explained to him that, the Earth is no longer safe for keeping the stones because every 5,000 years, as the professor discovered, these stones are important in a ritual that takes place. The stones in the Fifth Element, which we will discover as we go on. And And there we go. I mean, these Mono Chiwas, we were just talking about how great these guys are.
What were they
And
called? Sorry?
great job. Mono Chiwas?
Monochilas. I didn't know that.
Well, I think it's Chiwas. I don't
Monochilas.
know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, that comes up later,
Yeah.
when they mention them. And it seems like just about each character pronounce it slightly different. So, uh,
I didn't
so
grab
anyway.
the name of these beings while I was watching the movie. I just learned that now here on Earworms.
Oh, the
I'm just kidding.
professor. And this is another thing I wasn't too sure about. Later, the professor's assistant says he died, but I don't know if he died or just fainted.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Now,
that wasn't
hold on.
clear either. Yeah.
Did you guys see the slides disappear?
No,
No.
they're still
Well,
up.
on my view, the slides are not there.
Oh,
Oh
It's
yeah.
no.
Yeah, you just got the background. That's all I'm seeing.
great.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's
Yeah,
your
that's the background.
today. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I can
Uh-oh.
fix that. I think I can fix it. Wait a minute. Slides 01 is what I want. It disappeared here. On my list as well, but
Must
here
have been that evil snake.
I can
Oh,
add it. I
gosh.
can add it. Yeah, one of these days I might.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
One of these days. One of these days, Alice, pow, zoom to the moon. Now I'm gonna get busted.
All right,
I have to go to YouTube jail.
Oh,
YouTube.
no, Mike. Pobrecito.
All right, I guess it's
Ooh,
kind of
that's a
there
nice
now,
leg.
right? It's kind of there now, but
Look at that sexy leg.
now I got to try and line it up.
There we go.
Oh, and there's just a few slides left.
Ah.
Yeah, EV Mux is definitely designed for preparing ahead of time, but it certainly doesn't help when it kind of like takes away what you prepare. Alrighty, here we go, and then boo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
Ooh.
So yes, we're back here. The assistant saw the guy laying on the ground, the professor, and he decides, all right, these guys are bad. So I have this gun here. I don't know where he got it from, but he has one. And he goes back and he trips because he's a little bit nervous because they do look all armored up and stuff. And he trips, the gun goes off. They hit the Mono Chiwas, and the Mono Chiwas decide, all right, we're out of here. They got the stones anyway, so they're just heading out. But the doors start closing, and this Mono Chiwa was able to put the key forward for the priest to take, and says, in 300 years' time, you will need to come back here again to perform the ritual. So
I was really sad for this alien guy because he gets trapped. So I don't know if they're robots or what, and he could kind of sustain himself for that amount of time, but we never see him again, sadly.
I know. I guess they felt, well, we don't need to go into that. And, but it is kind of sad. And you would think also, looking at it another way, if this robot is basically, trapped, and we're assuming robot because I think later it's kind of found out that there's somewhat like cyborgs maybe, and have some organic matter. But if he's trapped in there, aren't like some archaeologists eventually going to find him?
See, there's a great beginnings for the idea for a sequel, I think. There.
Yeah, well, Giorgio Tsoukalos and,
Yeah,
some
yeah,
ancient
that's right.
alien guys will find him there.
What a great idea! Yeah, that's right.
And say, this does not normally happen in the ancient world. Okay, and there we go. The spaceship takes off. So there we go. So just for a few slides, I was able to get that back on there. So we're going to hide that now. And what we're going to move on to, I think, is hearing a little bit of music. So before Mike goes, he gets to hear a little bit of music here.
Yes.
We're going to call up, this is Eric Serra, or Eric Serra, the name of the band, RXRA in English. And let me make sure I'm on the right one here. There it is. And so let me go to our sharing scene. There we go. You guys should be seeing a YouTube music page right now.
Yep.
All right, so let's play it. I am going to press play here. I'm seeing like a spinning dial. Hopefully this will work. Small, intimate crowd.
Yes.
That's Sarah right there on the bass. pause it there. I don't know how much. I know that music basically takes the monetization, but I'm not sure if the music video would also give us a strike. So I think that's about enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, interesting
Possibly.
stuff.
Good
I
stuff,
was
man.
into that.
Check
That was
this
great.
guy out.
Yeah, it's RXRA is the name of the band, but I think at least on YouTube Music it does list it with Eric Serra in parentheses after.
Yeah, I already got him in Watch Later.
All
Done
right.
deal.
Yeah, it's
That was
good
good.
stuff. I mean, it went to a place that I didn't expect after the beginning, and that frequently happens with his music and the scores too, especially in this film. And I do have some clips coming up where the score really does take place in kind of like. It's very 90s, and I wouldn't say it's unpredictable, but there's some times where you could hear like a salsa piano in the same thing with a Middle Eastern, like call to prayer type singing. And it's like, wow.
Yeah,
So-
it's super cool.
I am going to play one thing because I think when the Mono Chivas came, there was a media clip I was supposed to play here. And since we're talking about his music right now, I might as well play a little bit from the score here since I went right past it. And so we might as well play that too. Just a little taste of the score from one of the moments from the score in The Fifth Element. And I think I got it queued up here. All right. So that's as much as I have for that clip. I got to keep them short, folks. Otherwise, we can be halted. It has happened to us in the past.
That was
Yeah.
some good acting from Matthew Thingamajig there in that scene.
Matthew Thingamajig.
Was it Matthew? I can't remember the actor's name now. He was in Beverly Hills 90210, wasn't he? What was his name?
Luke Perry.
Sorry, Luke Perry, not Matthew. Yeah.
There is a Matthew Perry also.
There is. You're right. I was getting confused between the two of them. You're right. Yeah, I always liked his acting. It was great. He was in Oz as well, and he was fantastic in that. But yeah, it was. I didn't appreciate it at the time when I saw it when I was a kid. But just watching him now, I'm thinking, yeah, I believe he's scared out of his pants looking at these things as they're walking past.
Yeah, and the kind of like synth heavy and these different layers, but it was kind of like that 90s, almost new agey synth, and then underneath the grinding bass. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
And being a bass player, of course, Sarah is going to put some bass in there. All right, so here we are, 300 years later. And this is, of course, the time that the Mono Chivas said, it's going to be ritual time. This is when we will return. And so they're planning on returning. And we'll see what happens with that in just a moment here as we progress. But here we go. And so I guess this means 2214. Do you think we're going to get there by 2214? We're going to be as technological as this movie? I don't know. 2001 didn't happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically they're now monitoring something, and here's military dude and observing what's going on, and we get to see this. The spaceships in this were pretty cool.
Oh, I love the designs of this. Yeah, this is sort of a Star Destroyer in a way, isn't it? But a bit more sort of pancake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't want to totally rip it off, but you think that, I mean, it's a tribute to what the Star Destroyers were as a design, because they were just combined naval vessel with space flight, and I don't know, just the shape and everything, they were just awesome. So anyway, of course everyone else is going to try and work that in some way because it was just like the perfect design. So here we go, and there's in the distance there something coming up, and it's coming up on radar. Great graphics in this on radar screens and computer screens, and there is the darkness up ahead, and it explodes, and then starts taking form, and these guys are watching it. Great lighting on the face there. And then we see here, this is the president of Earth, I guess, and he's coming in to New York, which obviously in the future, I guess New York becomes capital of Earth. Everything's New York centric, but whatever. It could have been anywhere, really.
Sure.
Never. Although for the scenes later, the flying cars in the city and everything, yeah, you definitely wanted a New York vibe for that.
Good night, Mike.
And everything.
I think I was going to say, I think everybody said good night to me, so I guess I'll say good night, y'all.
Yeah,
All
good
right.
night. Good night. Good being
night.
on with you. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, you too, man. I'll see y'all next week.
Cheerio.
Take care.
No.
Take care.
Yes, folks, do check out Mike Mountain Hawk Gorley in the description. Today I was listening to one of his latest releases, Introspection. Really beautiful stuff. All righty, so here we go. And now we're going to find out here. The president is in communication with military guy, and he asks him, so what are we going to do about this? And this guy says, I believe in the philosophy of shoot first and ask questions later. And of course, then it pans immediately to these guys that are just nodding their heads, the yes men in the military. It was funny. A lot of subtle things like that
Yep.
that happen quickly. And then we see a hand come up here, and we find out.
It's Ash from Alien.
What did you say?
It's Ash from Alien in disguised as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. It is Ian Holm. This is priest, Father Cornelius, Vito Cornelius. And we get the impression that he is the next guardian of the secrets and so forth. And we'll find out later he is the Mono Chiwa's representative on Earth. So it's a multi-generational thing. And they're all end up being priests, interestingly enough. Working in the, I think that's cool to kind of take spiritual faith and work in with it, these otherworldly things. And so the president hears him out and he says, you got 30 seconds. And this guy says, well, this is pure evil here. It's not interested in money or power or anything like that. It just wants to eliminate life. And the president says, well, all the more reason to destroy it. And he says, no, this is pure evil, and evil begets evil. And so trying to destroy it will just make it stronger.
There's some really interesting concepts, aren't there, in this film?
Yeah.
With morality and good versus evil and what evil is and things like that. I thought it was really nice, a little bit more depth going into the nemesis of this movie. It's not just a bad guy. It's something we haven't really seen before.
Yeah. And especially that, because usually bad guys are interested in power or control. And in this case, no, it's just like, I want to wipe out all life.
Yeah. We know nothing about it, do we? We don't know its origins. We don't know that's its only intention. That's its only goal, is to kind of wipe out life. So it's kind of like the anti-life of the universe, I guess. Wherever there's life, there's got to be anti-life somewhere. So that must be, I don't know where it comes from, but it must exist somewhere, But I think it's one of those cyclical things that occurs every so many years or something like that. They kind of allude to it in the film, but they never really explain it.
Well, they say, like, in space, it's not completely a vacuum. It's positive and negative particles flitter into existence and then destroy themselves. It's almost like, cyclical in that regard, where on the one hand you have what's called the Supreme Being that we'll be meeting later, and she comes into existence to create life or to produce life, and probably was there at the beginning to create it. And then on the other hand, you have the destroyer of life. It's almost like, it really is a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
And we move forward here, and so the president is decided, well, he's going to go ahead with destroying it, but he's not too certain. He's like, I have doubts. And military guy, no, I have no doubts. And so Did you guys just see my thing disappear again?
Yep.
It did disappear. Although I'm enjoying looking at the background.
Why did it? And we're
The evil thing is the hieroglyph.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
all right, folks. I'm going to load that up again. It looks like the only thing I'm going to have to do is just work it into shape again. But this is something that can't happen. I'm going to report this on the ticket.
Do.
This cannot happen. All right, here we go. Now it's there, and let me just. I like your avatar.
Oh, my one? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, the classic
Yep. Classic Emperor.
choices.
Yes.
All right. I think I'm going to leave it like this. So, folks, things are going to be out of alignment, but I don't know how often it's going to do this. So I think we're going to go with this. Fortunately, we're right where we left off. And okay, so now they're monitoring what they're going to do. They're basically launching missiles at it, which is, if you don't understand then something, launch missiles at it. And, Cornelius says this is not a good idea. And president is questioning it, but no, we're going ahead with it. And so I believe this is where they launched the missiles. There it is coming out of the ship. And then we see like about 3 of them flying that way. The slides don't do it justice. This was a great, great use of CGI, I believe. And there we go. I don't know if the spaceships were models. The lighting on them makes me inclined to kind of believe so. But I don't quote me on that. I don't know, Liza, if you wanted to do a quick stab at Google.
I could Google it.
Yeah, and see if the spaceships in The Fifth Element were models or not. The lighting on them looked like they were the models, but everything, of course, the other stuff is CGI. There we go. And so they launched the missiles, and they're worried. And the missiles get sucked in, and the thing... There we go. It's about to get sucked in. The radar stuff is great.
Okay, according to AI, yes, many of the spaceships and vehicles in The Fifth Element were created using a combination of the practical scale models and CGI.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I was noticing the lighting on them was a little dark, and I think sometimes that is a sign that it may be a model. I mean, it certainly wasn't true in Star Wars. They lit them up well.
Yeah.
But in some of these films, they leave them a little dark because they're trying to, hide the fact that it's a model. But it still looked really good. So anyway,
compared to today's CGI, entirely
Oh, yeah.
CGI worlds, I don't know. There was something about movies in the 90s with the practical effects and the CGI that just works better.
It was a good blend, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Jurassic Park, the first one. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Now they just do everything in CGI, and you just don't care anymore, do you? Back then, you were kind of like, "Oh, I wonder how much is a practical effect and how much is CGI," and it fascinated you, even though CGI is being used. It fascinated you. But these days, it's just a cartoon. You don't really care, do you?
Right.
Yeah, it's become like cartoons. Yeah, and great lighting on the faces. Basically, you feel the intensity here because they see that it's got sucked in and the thing increased to 200% its normal size. In other words, evil has gotten bigger, and it's going to consume the ship that they're on. President's back on Earth, so they're okay for now, but military guys they're on the ship that just gets consumed. And so the all-consuming evil has taken them down. And as soon as that lights up, flash to Bruce, who is also in South Brooklyn. That's rather specific, South Brooklyn. So anyway, there we go. And we get his life in a nutshell in this compact apartment he's in. It kind of looks almost like an airplane lavatory.
Yes. Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's like, airplane bathroom.
First thing he gets up, lights a cigarette because they're all healthy in the future, and he gets on the phone. He's talking to a friend from the military, former military colleague, and he's looking at pictures there as he's talking to his friend. The friend notes that he has got a cat, and he says, "At least the cat doesn't leave you." And then, Corbin Dallas, who's the character Bruce Willis is playing, looks at a picture, and it feeds you a lot of information, and it does it real smoothly. It feeds you the information that he was married.
It's very economic with its exposition, I think.
Yeah, and she, she left him, and he's talking to his friend about that, and there you see his military uniform, so you know that he was in the military. And this is, I'm sorry it's blurry, folks, but it was a fast-moving, scene there. And there's his cat. At least the kitty doesn't leave you. Are our cats in?
Yes, they're both in, and they're both trying to get into my office.
Well, let them in.
Scratching every once in a while. Maybe I'll let one in, and I'll switch to cat cam.
And then he's looking at a picture of his friend he's talking to, and he's like, "You look ugly in this." And the guy says, "Must be an old picture." But anyway,
the cigarettes were really amusing, I thought.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed is like all the phone communications in this, the people were either in an office or at home. It was still based on the landline concept.
Yeah.
And of course, there were cell phones at the time, but they were big and expensive and so forth. But it's interesting how they didn't go that route of seeing it, how we all became wireless, like just really soon after that. And instead, everyone's communicating from phones at home or the office or somewhere, but not on the go. But anyway, the cigarette and this is his refrigerator and stuff, kind of giving you the idea of a little bit of lack. And he's talking about his taxi and everything. The friend wants to borrow it or something, or have him come over to the shop. I don't know. It's something like that. But he's, he can't quite do it right now. Doesn't really want to have to do that, but asked him about the points on his license. Great way of feeding the information that there's points on the license for being allowed to do things, being allowed to use a car and flying car, and then the cat. Beautiful thing. All righty. And so as we go on, we do get some foreshadowing here with Floston, which will be next week. In next week's part 2, we're going to do the whole Floston sequence and everything after that. But Floston Paradise, it's basically like a space station or maybe a ship. I think it does move. It's mobile. But it's basically a pleasure entertainment center. And this is all on a TV commercial. And there we go. We see Ruby Rod, who's like a DJ at Floston.
That was a bizarre character. Really, really interesting character, but completely bizarre.
Yeah, but interesting, but entertaining and stuff. And I think they were thinking, let's take Dennis Rodman, because he was kind of like popular at the time. Let's take Dennis Rodman and just go make him more effeminate and everything. And my slides just disappeared on me again.
Dun, 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 again.
All right. Well, fortunately, I didn't have to do much last time to get back. But this is a support ticket. This is a support ticket. And we are on set 2. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's the wrong ones. I think.
Well, we have less technical issues here than what I had earlier on my other stream.
Oh no, what happened?
No. Oh.
Yes, well, we'll talk about that later. Let's see here. All right, so it's Paradise, Floston. And what the heck
Common people.
happened? What the heck? I'm seeing a completely different scene here. Oh, I need to hide that. Hide that. There we go. And I think we are seeing the proper slide, right? Yeah, Floss. There we go. And then we move on, and Kitty, great cut shots. I had to.
Oh, I'm a bit falling in love with that cat when I saw it. The facial expressions are so funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's telling her, don't watch too much of this stuff; it'll rot your brain. But that's foreshadowing. Little does he know he'll get to meet Ruby Rod in person.
I love that cat so much.
Yeah.
The expressions.
Kitties are the best.
So anyway, and that's another ad coming up. I guess it's for the same place, but the ads in this, and then later the branding with like McDonald's and stuff was pretty interesting. And the McDonald's stuff, it wasn't your normal branding because it wasn't necessarily complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was cool. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, we're going into his garage. Apparently you got garages below your mini apartments and stuff. Oh no, we're not there yet. That's coming up. Oh, that's right. This guy. Basically you just see at some point he opens like a hatch, and then this guy comes up. He has a metal plate on his head, and the guy pulls a gun on him, and but Corbin's like smooth. He's smooth. He takes it and he just says, "Oh yeah, this is the whatever, semi-automatic or automatic weapon." And it's like, good thing
That gun
you
is the
don't.
most ridiculous thing in the world, isn't it? Look at it.
Yeah. It's like, good thing it's not loaded. And the guy's like, "What?" It's like, well, you didn't press this button here. That's what you need to press to load it. Oh man, it just disappeared on me again.
Yeah, Evie Mux is
Uh-huh.
not doing well today.
All right. You know what? I'm going to call this up. If it happens again, I'm going to leave the studio, come back in, and see if that clears it up. Fortunately, it keeps us where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And there we go. So it was very 90s, this guy. He's just fidgeting the whole time. And
He's a tweaker.
Yeah. But basically trying to do a hold up, and then he's so smooth that he even, presses the button for him, and and the guy's like, "Okay, give me the cash, and no, he pulls the gun on him, makes the guy really nervous. I guess that's the problem with accelerants. You get real high anxiety. He holds him up and tells him, "This is a dangerous weapon. I think I'll keep that for you." And the guy just lets him take it. He's just so nervous now. And he's like, "I'll see you later. Goodbye." And it's like, tells him, "I like your hat." And the guy just starts dancing there a little bit. And it's like, it was really...
I didn't understand the dancing. Why all of a sudden is he dancing?
It was the 90s. That's what it was.
So it's just some great acting by this guy, I thought.
Yeah. So anyway, and it lined up with the score, because at that moment in the score, it was pretty much like kind of getting rhythmic and bassy. Hold on, I'm going to leave the studio and come right back, because that disappeared on me again. Let me see if this clears it up.
Turned it off and on again.
Evie Mux.
What does EV Muck stand for? That's a new one to me.
I don't know. That is a good question for Google AI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I come back and I hear just you furiously typing.
Violent keyboard sound.
It's not telling me what EV Mug. Oh. Multi-streaming.
I'm just trying to do one stream right now.
Okay. We're trying to find out why it's called EV Mux, and AI is not giving me an explanation. It's just telling me what it is.
It's a
I know what
mystery.
it is. I just want to know what EV Mux means.
Well, AV mux would make more sense. Audiovisual mux.
What is the Mux part of it, though?
I don't know.
Apparently, it
Kind of
mucks
like
you about.
flux. Isn't there muck? Isn't mux like some video term for something?
It is, but you know what? Let me ask Google.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out more information as we look at it. Corbin Dallas's Taxi. Really nice work on
Multiplexer.
this.
I love this cab. I love this. I love everything about it. It's wonderful
Yeah.
design.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for gear porn. So that's one of the reasons I love George Lucas's Star Wars so much. And this cab is straight out of Coruscant, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yes.
And speaking of Coruscant, we kind of get that later when it goes out into the city.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And we got the dice. Got to have the fuzzy dice.
Yeah.
I don't know. The inside of this cab did kind of remind me of somebody that a friend of mine in college at that time, around this time, and whenever I was in his car, it felt like this. Beautiful stuff. And so apparently they have these small little compact garages for their flying cars.
Didn't they use a cab like that in Blade Runner?
They have flying cars in Blade Runner.
But that specific cab look, I don't know. It seemed very similar.
Well, in Blade Runner, I remember primarily police vehicles. And it may be a similar design, just different paint job. I remember Jay was telling us about it, that one of the vehicles in Blade Runner was used on a number of different films. Who knows?
If you look in the background, yeah, you can see it sometimes in other movies. You're right.
Yep, yep.
Well, there are police vehicles in this coming up. So anyway, it's cool because it, just flies out there and it looked totally real. And there we go. Now we're back to Cornelius here, who's talking to the president. He says that it's found that the Monochiwas are coming, and they're our only hope now, because in order for this ritual to take place. Although he doesn't really tell the president that. He's just saying that the Monochiwas have the 4 stones and we need them. He doesn't really tell a lot of information, but that's our only hope now. And the military people there say that the Monochiwas are coming into our space in proximity to Earth. And so they gave them permission, and here we go. Here's the Monochiwas coming in. And it's cutting back and forth between them coming in and him explaining some of the story. And here he's talking about the 5th element, which is the supreme being in the center, and so forth. And then the opposite of that, the evil. Beautiful sketches here.
These are amazing. I love them.
Yeah. And there we go. And just about anytime you see people's faces and stuff, they're in the role, and the lighting's just right.
It is a very brightly lit movie in general, this film, isn't it? There's a lot of color. It's very vibrant.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the right balance, I think, of light and dark. The lighting so you could see the characters. The spaceships were a little dark, but that was exterior. But in any of the scenes with actors, the lighting is just right, and just the right balance of darkness, because it is somewhat of a dark film. But maybe that was something they were going for, is to say, all right, we're balancing the light and the dark here because it's about that timeless struggle. And there we go. Yeah, that kind of looks like a model planet there.
That does, you're right.
Is that a planet?
It's a spaceship.
Meatball. No, it's a spaceship. That's right.
The little man walked up and down. Oh, yes. Oh, we lost it again.
Oh, for crying out loud. I think we're going to get through slide set 3
You'll
tonight.
get no bread with one meatball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's get it back.
I'm getting it.
There we go.
You don't get bread with one meatball.
Nope.
But the Mono Chi was meatball. So there we go. I mean, I wasn't sure what that is, but some sort of structures in space, but some pretty cool stuff going on. And but as we see them fly in and you hear some dialogue about it, we see these ships come into play, and these are, I think they're called Vandalors.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. These guys here kind of reminded me. You remember that scene in The Life of Brian where he's running away and all of a sudden an alien spacecraft comes in and picks him up?
What a fantastic scene that was. Oh, my God.
It kind of reminds me of that.
It was so out of nowhere, wasn't it, when that happened? I can remember watching that film and just thinking, what the hell just happened? And I laughed my ass off for like 10 minutes and missed about 10 minutes of the movie because I was still laughing about that one brief scene. It was just genius.
But these guys, the way the ships are kind of like shaking and stuff, it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud. Don't tell me I'm only going to be able to get like 2 slides in before it.
Yep.
All right. We might be calling it an early night tonight if this keeps going. We might have to. I mean, this is just
Yeah, grr.
ridiculous. All right, so we shall move onward and upwards. Here's one thing I can try also.
Space orcs. Yes, Flav.
Space
Oh, yeah.
orcs.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm removing the sets of slides that I have already done. Maybe that helps. Maybe there's some sort of memory involved. All right, so anyway, there we go. Yeah, the Vandalors are coming after the Monochiwas, and they end up destroying the ship. Although the ship does seem to crash into a planet, and we'll find out later there are some remains. But there we are. Nice big explosions. Lots of explosions in the film. And very good ones. There we go. So while this happens, I guess they get the information real time that something happened. And Cornelius is like, man, they're going to come for me because I'm the representative on Earth. And let me see the Vandalore guy here. He's communicating his success to somebody. And we will get to know this somebody later on. They're at Zorg. And there we go. Conversation here about they're basically deciding what to do. And at this point, they decide, okay, we need to get in touch with the Monochiwas and tell them what happened. And he's just nervous about what they might think about him. All right. So there we go. What now? What now? And I'm drawing a blank. I don't know what the scene is.
Yeah, not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's like the end of the meeting. I think he's giving somebody instructions. Oh yeah, he's holding his finger up. One what? I forget, but
This when they decide to reanimate the whatever was left on the ship that exploded.
I don't know if they got that news yet. I don't know if that's right here, but that does come. All right, we are done with a set of slides 2. I think we're going to move on to 3 and keep trucking. And all right, and so we're going to move on to 3 here. Come on. Unhide. And put you at top. There we go. All right, what are we here? Oh, you know what? Liza, you were right. You were absolutely right.
Yeah, okay.
Because here we go. Here are the remains.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There was one survivor. That's what the finger 1 was. There was one survivor, but the survivor ends up being just a bit of remains here. And I think that's a hand or...
It is a hand or a forearm with a hand.
All right. But there is apparently life in it. So the Monochiwas do have some organic life within them because they're basically going to try and regenerate the being from this hand. And there we go. This is General somebody or whatever. We'll see him again later and stuff. But he's coming in saying, you know, this is kind of scary, this thing. But he was calling it unnatural. But this scientist guy here, this guy is excited about it. And it's funny how they're having a talk about like something being unnatural when they're in black light or something like that because they're glowing.
Yeah.
They're looking kind of unnatural.
Bioluminescent.
Mm-hmm. All right, and here we go. Here's the big old laboratory. And this is where they're going to basically take the DNA and talk about DNA here. They're saying this is normal DNA, but this other DNA is even better than normal DNA because it's got, you know, basically everything that our DNA has plus more. Something like that. Of course, I said it much better and more scientifically. But the word that keeps coming up here is perfect. They keep saying it's perfect. You know, the DNA is perfect. So that's a word that we're going to hear a lot. And in fact, in the opening scene with Corbin, I didn't mention it, but when he was talking to his friend about,
he's waiting for the perfect woman.
Yes,
He
he's
said
waiting
it
for the perfect woman.
facetiously, though, and then he finds one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see that kind of come home later. But yeah, I missed it at that time. Should have mentioned it. But anyway, here we go. It's time to rebuild this hand into something, and he's basically explaining the process to him. And even having heard it the third time, it's like, okay, this is using some terminology that's a little bit beyond, you know, what we know about genetics. But an interesting thing is in the 90s, it was almost as if so much stock was put into genetics and the genetic and the DNA. This was before I think the biome was mapped, or we mapped
The genome was mapped. Was
the
fully
genome.
mapped.
Yeah, biome. Yeah. Genome. It's another gnome. Before the genome was mapped, and then once it was mapped, we found out, okay, there's less here than what we thought. But at this time, everyone was thinking that, you know, there's so much in DNA, like it would even define. It would basically define more traits than it actually does. And so they were probably thinking you could rebuild something from, you know, just DNA from one cell. And it's like, well, the one thing they did cover themselves with the complexity of this DNA. It's more than just human DNA. So in this case, we'll find that it carries more than just the physical attributes, but also the consciousness itself, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. It's kind of reminding me of a Bjork video, you know, with the the machinery and stuff. I forget what that.
With the
song was.
cyborg one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't there a theory then that DNA also carried memories?
There may have been a theory then.
Yeah, emitogenic memory or something like that it's called.
Yeah. That's the term.
But here it's rebuilding. They're rebuilding skulls from this DNA. I guess taking some matter and just making the molecules. So anyway, and then some nice
Thank you, Mike.
CAD
First
drawing.
time viewer, and he's loving it so far. Say hello to Mike.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
We appreciate having you with us. Sorry that the slides keep disappearing, but so far, since I eliminated the extra ones, we seem to be doing much better. All right, so hopefully that'll keep up. And more dialogue that I thought I'd remember, but don't. And so we're rebuilding this being from just a little bit of genetic material. But it is pretty cool looking. And but I remember, you know, in the 90s, we were all full of hope and everything with technology and what was to come. And now they are sealing the body up They said for UV protection, but then they're also going to be stimulating it with some of the aforementioned UV to bring it to animation. So, and there we go. I think, I better move along quick before YouTube says I'm showing nudity. And there
Oh,
we go.
yes. Oh, we forgot. Terms of service.
It's hard to see anything. But those are gawking. Those are gawking eyes. Look at that guy on the right. And he says, yeah, he's going to need some pictures for the records and stuff. So anyway, so they put in the bands, automatic, what do you call those? They were like saying, they called it like temperature or something. It was like temperature related, basically to keep her warm. But I forget what they called them. My brain doesn't work.
Yeah, Mr. Dalek, we were discussing how I guess the combo of practical effects and CGI in the 90s was just the right mix to make things look really nice and immersive.
Yeah, like here, the, what are those called? It's
Suspension,
bandages.
I believe. Yeah.
I guess they're called bandages. They call them thermal bandages or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and so what you're seeing there is practical, except for those bandages that kind of flip up and cover and stuff, and it worked. It looked real, and so she's getting bandaged up. He's still looking, and she starts jerking around and stuff because they stimulate her to animate her again, and she did some really interesting, I don't know, gesticulations, I guess you call them, or whatever. And then great acting here, because at first it was like just this coming back into life, into like a corporal form there, not knowing where you are. And immediately fear sets in. And so she moves to the corner here and is wondering what's going on. But just her acting, and this is Mila Jovovich, folks, just her acting is like a full body acting. It's not just the way she speaks or her facial expressions, but she throughout the film does this full body acting. It's almost like I wouldn't be surprised if she were a dancer.
Yeah.
For sure, she must have been have some training. Yeah.
And now she's looking around and speaking in some language they don't understand, and feels caged in. I think that's something you would feel if you were in a glass tube like this and just came to animation. And I mean, and just this kind of like a somewhat primitive way of moving and everything at the same time as just this combination of being like almost human primitive and otherworldly at the same time. So she really caught that expression well. And so they decide, all right, this container we have, they think is impervious. So they're going to attempt to start communicating by saying, hey, if you want to get out of there, you're going to have to start learning how to communicate. It's like, well, what the heck do you expect?
That guy is what my mom would call a come mierda.
Yes.
Yes, you guys could put that into Google Translate.
So, and he's like shaking an ID at her or something like that. And, but she, breaks out through the glass here. And, well, she gives him a look first. And I would say as soon as I receive that look, I'd walk away. I'd get out of there. But she, basically breaks through the glass and puts her hand right into his chest, and, doesn't feel good. And there we go. Kind of slumps off to the side. And I think the idea there is, this is the supreme being in a way of being like good and the creator, or life and creation, and representing those things. But at the same time, when caged, it's almost like you're breaking a natural law here by restricting someone's freedom and ability to move and encasing them in. And in so doing, you are basically trespassing on them and
Yep.
they have the right to respond
With force.
with force in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember Swappers, one of the early Browns, he did mention seeing that video on natural law presented by Mark Passio.
Ooh.
Yeah, he mentioned that back in the day.
Wow.
I think he might have stepped away for a little bit here.
Maybe. I think I don't know who's outside, but someone's scratching at my window. I'm gonna go check to see if I thought both kitties were in, but let me check.
We
It could
might be
be
getting a kitty.
it could be the possum though. So I
We
don't know.
might be getting a kitty. Or, well anyway, so I'll carry on here. And
I'll be right back.
she was able to click on a button here to release herself from the tube, get out of the tube, and she makes her way out. And that's when the medical personnel all of a sudden have weapons. And they're like coming around. And there we are. This was a great image here. I'm not sure what the walls were made out of or what they wanted them to be made out of, but she's running towards the wall and she jumps right through it. Okay, and that's where he concludes this scene by saying, perfect. You know, that's the whole thing. She's perfect.
So that kind of illustrates how strong she is. She can just jump straight through a metal/concrete wall with no problem whatsoever.
Exactly. I mean, they did a great combination of her being powerful, but also vulnerable in the film. And they mention that as it goes on, that she's got amazing powers, but she's also vulnerable.
Yeah, she's not a Mary Sue.
Yep. And so anyway, we got some security personnel here coming together, and they're going to go out after her.
I love the design of the outfits. They're great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're reminiscent of something, but I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what it is. It's another Luc Besson film I saw this week. The Valerian and the City of and the City of 1,000 Worlds. The bad guards that the commander had. I forget what they were called, but they had a similar design. Although those were fully cased in. Here you see these people do. You can actually see some face here. There, she gets out of there, and we see that she's high up here in the city, and we get our first stunning glance of the city. The cops are after her, though, and it was kind of funny, though, because he asks her, okay, lady, just kind of lay down, put your arms down, and we'll come out and get you. And he's like, I hope she understood. And now she walks out of there, and he's like, she didn't. There we go. But
this is when we first get a good look at the streets, the elevated streets of New York, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I guess that's why it was important to kind of use New York in that you get this idea of congestion, and even more so in the future, because you're assuming, of course, the population is going to be more, and real estate's going to be at such a premium that people are living in like airplane lavatories, and there's not enough room to drive on the ground, so they have flying cars and everything, and it's all vertical.
How depressing.
I know it is.
I'm sure there's still people like us living out in the woods.
Somewhere. They're not in the movie.
Not in the movie. 'Cause I guess there's nothing to report on in places like this.
Yeah, they decided here, let's
Not cool enough.
We need to use some flying cars for this. They decided that they're not going to go out on the ledge after her. So, and just the motion of these vehicles flying around, it was really good.
These are proper models they're using here. It's like they're almost like Jerry Anderson vehicles, aren't they? From like Thunderbirds or something.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, Captain Scarlet. I saw the first episode of that because I don't know. I don't know if it was aired here or if it was not on channels that I had growing up. So
Hmm.
I've seen it like a few months ago because I was researching the music of that.
Yeah.
And man, the puppets in that were amazing.
Yeah, not very animated, but they look great.
Yeah, and sometimes it's funny because you see them there, and there's just like a pause, and you're just wondering, okay, what's it thinking?
Yeah. There's no expression or anything,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
You got to just kind of make that up in your head.
But it's all cool. There she is, the police flying car sees her, and it's like no file on this one, no ID,
The
and so
biometric data is not stored in the planet's uh, evil grand database that they're trying to push on us these days.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, we were mentioning when you stepped away for a bit, we were mentioning natural law and the and how when she was justified in basically breaking through the tube that she was encased in, and she was justified in that force there because a lot of people might think, if she's a supreme being and she's this loving entity, good entity, why would she kill a guy like that? It's like, well, it's comes back to the principles of natural law. When someone's being imprisoned and their
Mhm.
freedom is taken away, in this case for no reason, you have the right to use force. And
She
I
didn't
just
kill the guy though, but she did incapacitate him.
oh, I thought she did. I thought she
No,
reached
no,
right into his chest.
that guy is, well, she hit his chest and like knocked him out, but that guy
Oh, okay.
is there throughout the rest of the movie. He's the guy who visits I forget the
Oh, I
name
thought
of
it
the
was a
Bruce
different
Willis
guy.
character.
I thought it was a different guy.
No, it's Bruce Willis's friend,
General.
General, who comes
Yeah.
to try to recruit him for the
Yeah.
mission.
Well, anyway, she's decided she's getting out of here, so she's going to take a dive.
I don't know what she thinks that is going to happen here, but
Well, she's a supreme being, and probably if she can jump through walls and stuff like that, she's probably not afraid of,
yeah,
going through the ground.
Or hitting a car.
Yeah. And
these these practical effects, man, they're just beautiful.
and I love how they went with such a retro design
Yes,
for
absolutely.
a
Yeah.
futuristic vehicle.
Do you think they might have recycled these, or these recycled props from Judge Dredd?
Oh,
The
it
first
does
one?
remind me of Judge Dredd a lot. You're right.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe.
It is a very megacity one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, it is good to kind of like reuse and recycle the props from prior movies.
No, I agree. It's just weird how you could recognize them. Judge Dredd, I looked it up. It was like 95, and this was 97.
Sorry for the blurriness, folks, but some of these things are fast moving. But there she is, about to make contact with a cab, and here we go. We got her smacking right into Bruce Willis's vehicle. Uh-huh. Whoa. And he decides automatic, I guess, is just hover mode, and decides to go in that mode and takes a look to see what's happened. He's like, yeah, I know, accident. It wasn't his fault. And all he sees is a hand come up. And I do have this scene here. I do have a clip of this scene because this is an amazing bit of dialogue. But he sees her and kind of smiles. Well, seeing the number 4 there, that means I have media 2 and 3 that I missed. Great. Probably with all the disappearing slides going on. But I'm going to play 2 and 3 after this. Let's play this bit here first, and then we'll go to the others. But this scene here, I had to include this, even though it's not music. It's great dialogue. You there?
Iconic dialogue from the movie.
Yeah. And all right. Where is my video display? Okay, let me do it in this mode. I'm going to switch over here because I think I can show it this way.
Hyperspace lever. I like it. I couldn't read it before.
Hyperspace lever or hyperspace lover?
Whoop.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the right one. Here we go. I'm usually in the other mode, the other prepared scene, but my
What's going on with your lighting?
but my video was I'm trying to get not me. I'm trying to get the video. Oh my god, tonight this is
Gonna have to move to Inga Cam soon.
the problem with StreamYard is they're like $45 a month now.
They're
And
not
why
any
is it
better. We had problems.
Yeah, but not this bad.
No. I remember having some issues releasing chats with StreamYard.
Oh, that was Wave.
Oh, that's
StreamYard?
right. That's waved up video. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been around the circuit here. Just a moment, folks. I'm going to call up. Let's see, dynamic control. I was trying to get my video player, and for some reason, it doesn't want to come up.
I'm not going to read what Stitch said.
Yeah, I can only imagine what's going on with it.
People are asking for Kitty Cam. I'm going to try to track Inga. She's around. She was the one tapping on the window. I thought she was inside.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you take over a little bit here because I need to get the video player up, and so I'm gonna put this on. Let's see, Liza time.
Oh no!
So get a cat.
She's not ready yet, though.
Well, get her ready. All right, let's see. Text. I'm looking for, because I went to my scene that plays the videos and the video player isn't there. I don't know what's going on. Okay, wait a minute. This is web source? No. I want video source. Miscellaneous.
Hooray.
Slideshow, media files. I know another way I can do this. Here we go. We're going to go over to here. And I'm going to drop the video file in as something in the browser and share it that way. This is how I used to do things.
Okay.
Because I cannot find the video source player there. And
Hey, Forge. Yeah, I'm waiting for Inga to take her place on my shelf so that I can capture her on Kitty Cam.
Well,
Yep.
if she's on the floor, you can capture her that way.
No, she has to settle down in one place.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing. How do you think I'm doing? All right, I got the video loaded in here to my tab.
Okay.
And now I can share this tab here. Sorry, workarounds. At least we get to go forward.
Okay.
And
okay, good, because I wasn't warmed up to play my guitar, so.
Yeah. All right. So, do we have the scene on screen there? Yes.
Yeah.
Now, not only is the dialogue great there, but the music, kind of like the Middle Eastern flair there, which we are going to encounter a bit more here, but just hearing that and I don't know, and the soothing piano, it was kind of an interesting combination because it has like this soothing piano background and the Middle Eastern wind instrument. Interesting combination. Now,
I'd love to see the script for her dialogue in this scene.
Ah.
there might have been some improv there.
I'm guessing that there had to be a lot of improv in that scene, but wow. It would be cool to see what was actually on the script.
Yeah, it would.
All right, you guys are gonna love this. Now
Oh
I am.
no.
I'm stuck in the
No.
tab. You know, the video I was just playing, I'm stuck in that tab. I'm in like some sort of full screen mode I can't get out of. Boom. All right, there we go. Control W does it. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to keep moving on here. Although there was some musical clips that I have that I was going to play. I'm just like worried about taking like 10 minutes to figure out how to get that to play. So I'm just going to move on, and we'll catch some of the clips at the beginning of next week. Some of those musical clips that I skipped over.
Yeah, how dare you?
Well, I didn't notice it. No one told me, hey, there's a number at the top of the corner.
I wasn't paying attention to the numbers, sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, here we go. Yeah, the big bada boom and smiling. I mean, yeah. Also very endearing. And then we see the police come and they ruin it. They
Yeah.
ruin this moment. And that's where he realizes, oh, I'm feeling heights. You really do get a sense of height.
Yes.
And so he basically, he's doesn't have enough points on his license, because points are, I guess, good in this film. Points in this film are, your ability to drive. And he's down to like maybe 1 point. And if he gets another accident or another violation, he's done. Although
Something that I noticed with the point system for driving here, when he loses his last point, the car still functions. There isn't like a startling thing that turns off your engine.
Well, she's like nervous about this. She doesn't want to go over to the cops, and he's like, "I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go with them." And I mean, her facial expressions are awesome, really convey it. And then it says, "Please help." She sees this here in the car. "Please help," and somehow that triggers, I guess, the knowledge of what to say, and she starts saying, "Please, please help." And he's trying not to look at her because it's hard to say no to that. Please help.
She's a very quick study.
Yep. And
Yep.
he does make the eye contact, and they say, "Open the passenger door." He does, and they're latching him in, and got the rope there. Pull over to the vehicle, and you see him kind of starting to doubt it, and she's still crying and asking for him to help. And that's when he decides, all right, here we go. And he basically takes it off of hover mode, and away we go. And it starts pulling the rope, and tearing away from the police vehicle. And that's where the red sign comes up saying, "Okay, you've lost your last point. You have no points." But it still keeps going. That's true. Interesting how that works.
Yeah, that would not happen today.
Well,
if we had a
it did
system
also
like that.
it did also trigger, more cops to come and everything. So it's not like he was really getting away so much, although he does, with some fancy driving. But yeah, you would think it would
By
be more
this
like,
time, I mean, you'd think if they had the technology to track what you were doing, they also had the technology to stop your car, control your car remotely so that you couldn't use it if you lost points.
no, but yeah, that would kind
That
of
would have
stop
killed
the
the
movie.
story, though, for sure.
Yeah. And here's McDonald's girl, and we see See, this is what happens if you eat too much McDonald's. And so there he is, as police officers deciding, he's too old, he's too tired to go after a car or, respond to the radio, what's being radioed in. And, but he just kind of gets blown by here. And there's a 5, and no one was going to tell me. All right, so we have video 5 to play. So let's try this. All right, so I'm going to call up, let's see, video 5. All right. Sorry, folks. I have to do this the old-fashioned way. Don't like to do things this way anymore, but tonight Evie Mux has made my life a little bit more difficult. Where are you? There we go. All right, and so here's something I wanted to play because the music here is excellent, and I think it's also a great example of the eclecticism that we have from Eric Serra. All right, share. All right, this is a hard way of doing things, but it works. All right. So I had to include that because you had the Middle Eastern singing and you had like a salsa line on the piano. It's like just a combination of everything with the slap fretless bass.
Cool fusion. Awesome.
Yeah. Very 90s because at that time, I mean, musically, there was all sorts of things happening, and definitely world music was a pretty
It
big
was a
thing.
thing. We had Sting and Shakira and
Yeah,
lots of
Sting,
cool
that
stuff.
Desert Rose song, that was popular around this time. So did you did hear that, right?
Yes,
Okay, good.
I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. Did you see it?
I saw it in a tiny window at the bottom of the screen, but not on the main screen.
Oh, right. Well, that's the way it goes, folks. I played it and I was watching it, but you know what? That'll probably protect us from the YouTube gods a little bit more.
Right.
But at least you heard
Oh
it.
wait, Scott Flavin didn't get any audio.
Oh, yeah. That's because I should have been in this
Scott
screen.
Scott Halvett. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of
Scott Flavin.
Scott Flavin.
No, we're going to play it here. Here we go. Oh, my God. Tonight has been like the worst earworms ever.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I
So,
was thinking of Scott and Flav
yeah.
and combine their names together. But yeah, Scott Flavin is a colleague we know.
So
Great
I think you
biologist.
should be seeing this and hearing it now.
Whoa. You got lucky.
But, oh, man, that music out of this world.
Oh, Stitch, now that you guys got the audio, I can't hear a thing. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, I
You
got
did?
everything over here.
Okay.
Well, at least you guys heard it.
We're going to have to play it like 3 different times in all
What
these
the
different
heck?
ways.
It's like, okay, now the chat has it, but then I get a blank screen with no audio and grr.
Oh, I've been seeing plenty of blank screens tonight, I tell you. All right. So anyway, we got that bit in there and we heard the music and the scanner is jammed. So this guy has a jammer for police scanners. Remember those? And, well, we didn't really have jammers, just scanners for knowing if there's a speed detector coming up. All right. So anyway, they don't like that fact, so they get out the guns, and his car knows it is about to be attacked, and there we go. But fortunately, there's like a McDonald's train. There's a McDonald's train coming, and cops are heading right for it. And there we go, right into that thing. I mean, the movie has just so much unexpected comedy that's just like off the, I don't know, off the beaten path.
I'm loving it. Awesome.
What?
Yeah, nose a flap with all the McDonald's in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is not the product placement they expected.
Yeah, not with
They
the
watched
look of
the
that
movie.
one police officer, no.
Yeah, no.
There we go. And so Bruce Willis, Corbin decides, okay, I think we might be all right now, but no, we got 6 floating police cars there. And this is interesting. You've seen before how they had the 6 engines, the 6 circles, 2 horizontal rows of 3 for the engines of the spaceship at the beginning. Now we see like 6 here, like evenly placed apart. I don't know. Maybe it's something, maybe it's not. All right. I think we're going to do just one more set of slides, and we're going to try to bury this, this issue-laden experience. I don't know. I'm going to have to really, maybe I'm going to try Streamlabs Talk Studio. Give that a shot, because this kind of stuff can't happen. All right. There we go. All right. Attack detection. So, yes, those 6 cop cars are about to attack, and they're blowing the hell out of the cab. Whew. They put a lot of fireworks on that thing. But somehow they made it through that. Lots of holes, but at least not through the bodies. And there we go. It's time to go down. And basically the idea is he's like, we're just going to go down low. I don't know if it's underground or whatever, but it's like, we're going to go down low and hide out. And they are able to do it. They are able to get down low, and the police are looking for him. And it's really foggy and stuff like that down there. They can't find him. And hiding vertically is a good way of doing it. And so he's climbed down to see what's up with Lilu. Well, though he doesn't know her name yet, but she's not in great condition. She's asking for a priest. He says, "You don't need a priest. You just need a doctor." But she says, "Cornelius, take me to Cornelius." And so he looks him up, I guess, in the yellow pages. And there we are. He's at Cornelius's door. And he brings her over. And Cornelius doesn't know her. He was expecting a guy as the supreme being. So he's just like, what? Marriages? I'm not doing them right now. So, but he's like, no, I'm not getting married. She asked for you. She's looking for you. I don't know who she is or anything, but she's got this tattoo. And Cornelius is like, tattoo? And there we go. And there's the tattoo that I guess is part of the ancient language. And he realizes, this is the 5th element. And yes, and so he starts fainting.
I wonder why Cornelius would be living in New York rather than in Egypt.
Maybe the Monochiwas told him you need to be in New York because we're going to go there.
Oh, okay.
Well, who knows? Their plans were thwarted. Their plans were thwarted, so that's right. I don't know. Well, there's a big... That's the thing. They don't say what denomination he is. They call him father and a priest, but I don't know if that's Catholicism or space Catholicism, maybe.
Space
Um,
Catholicism.
yeah,
Awesome.
because
Oh, Scott's right. He's a representative to the president.
oh
Okay, I
yeah,
see why.
thank you, Scott.
And I guess such an ancient priesthood would have connection
Yeah, and we got
to.
to thank Scott for recommending we do this film.
Yes. Thank you,
Wouldn't have
Scott.
happened without him.
Very enjoyable.
All right. So Cornelius is some dialogue I forget, but basically he explains a little bit of it. And he can't say too much, but Corbin doesn't really believe him. He's like, yeah, okay. She says a lot of things I don't understand and all that, but I don't know. You get a sense that he does care for her a bit, and Cornelius does say some things about her being, perfect or the supreme being and all this stuff. And Corbin doesn't quite understand, but he does leave him with that word perfect. And so Corbin thinks about it. Perfect. I said to my buddy Finger, and that was the guy's name, Finger, that I was just looking for the perfect one, and now here she is. So he kind of looks down at her and admires her, and then, does a bit of a no-no, decides to try and sneak a kiss there. And she didn't like that. She pulls his own gun at him, holds it up to his head. And he's like, yep, I shouldn't have done that. She has him. So she's about, she's got him there, and he's smooth. He basically says, my name's Corbin. What's your name? And using hand gestures, he says a really long thing. He didn't quite understand that, so I asked her to shorten it. And she says, Lilu. And so that's like that's the very abbreviated form of her name. So Lilu, that's nice. Being smooth. And here they come. And so now she gets to, because she was passed out before, now she sees that Cornelius is there with his symbology and stuff, and she's happy to see him. And so, that alleviates the situation a bit. And yeah. So now she knows that she's found the person that she needed to find, and that basically relieves all tensions. I don't know what I apparently included all these slides because I was going to say something here, and I don't remember what was exactly being discussed, but it's time to usher Corbin out. Thank you for bringing the Fifth Element, but could you head out? And then just before leaving, he asks, "What does ectogamete mean?" And ectogamete means not without my permission. And so that's what she was saying to him when she pulled the gun on him. Not without my permission. So, yeah, usually permission is good. So anyway, he decides he's going to head out. His cab still works, and he heads home.
Oh, kitty.
And the poor cat, he forgot the food.
How dare he? Oh,
But he's going to make up for it with some Thai food.
and cats don't eat Thai food?
I don't know.
No.
We don't have a good Thai restaurant around here. But,
That's true.
but
Yeah. Maybe Inga would make an exception for real Thai food. I don't know.
maybe. Well, anyway, Corbin decides, oh man. Well, he doesn't decide anything. He just came in. It's like, oh, I forgot your food. I'll make it up with some Thai food. And he gets a call from Finger, his friend. He missed the appointment. Bring the car over. And then he explains what happened. He had a really good fare. And this big fare was 5'9", blue eyes, perfect skin, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to see her over here. She's doing a little bit of research. And you see she's basically learning all the things that she needs to know from the past 5,000 years. And the cool thing that I got in this slide was the edge of the monitor, still reminding us in the 90s we had those
Wow.
monitors that were
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The big, thick,
No
plastic, heavy
flat
thing.
panel screens or anything, or any advanced kind of. It was still very 90s technology they were using.
Yep.
The beige plastic and stuff.
Yes. Packard Bells.
Those things. Oh man.
That was sleek and cool then.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, they're explaining, just explaining to assistant there what's happening. She's relearning all these things for the past 5,000 years, and yeah, looking at some of the bad stuff that happened. Or though, is that kung fu or something like
That's
that?
yeah.
What's
That's
his name?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yeah. And she's just looking at that like, "Arr."
Mhm.
So anyway, she heads over. This I swear this has to be a replicator, because what you see is her sliding in an empty plate and then closes it.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I didn't catch that, but yeah, that must be a replicator.
It's a generous one.
Yeah.
She pulls out a whole pile. Could feed a village on that. And there we go. Now they're asking her about the stones, or Cornelius wants to know what happened with the stones. I believe it's at this moment.
Oh, Flav, yeah, we got to do the Matrix at some point. The first one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And so he's asking about the stones, but it kind of cuts away here to Zorg, who's meeting up with the Valdor, whatever, the Valgorians or whatever they're called. And on the way out, we get a brief question from his assistant about like 500,000 people getting fired. And he's like, no, fire 1 million. Basically showing that he's a bit of a ruthless corporate guy. And the guy's like, okay, we'll fire 1 million. And then we cut back here to, the thing about asking about the stones. And she's mentioning that they were stolen, because he asked about the stones in the case. And she's like, it was stolen. And he's kind of worried then about the stones being stolen. And they're trying to figure out what to do. And then we see the case that they're talking about right there. And at this point, this is what the alien guys, after destroying the Monochiwa ship, have brought. And it's their mission to bring this case to this guy, Zorg. Jean-Paul Baptiste Zorg. And there's one of the alien guys in his disguise. He says, you don't look good like that. So he does the head shake thing, and it comes back to a kind of like a rhino head. And there we go. So in exchange for the stones, Zorg has manufactured this weapon that he's going to deliver 4 cases to these guys for the mission that they completed for him. Well, supposedly completed. And so he's showing this gun. It's like the ZF-1, I believe, Xenoform 1. And yeah, I mean, you have to see it in motion because I can't capture that in slides, but the thing like moves. You move some parts and other things move, and it's like, and it looks so real.
Yeah, it's really over the top, isn't it, this thing?
Oh, yeah. And there's a target. What does that say there? Oh, yeah, police. So anyway, yeah, that's the target that he's going to demonstrate on. And he shows that you basically can fire at it. Okay, no, this is the first shot. He's firing at it here, and then it has something called replay. That basically when you switch on replay, it'll remember the last thing you shot at. And then he turns around, and it's showing that all the rounds basically circle around and go back to the target. And so it doesn't matter what you do, it will go back to that target that you initially shot at. And apparently hit it. And then he shows a rocket launcher the thing has. And then these projectiles that are poison darts. And then a net. I mean, this has everything in it. And even a flamethrower, which is his favorite.
Yeah, that's great. I love the net.
It was like over the top.
Yeah.
Pure 90s, over the top. This thing has everything in it. And there's his look.
We think of the 80s as being over the top with stuff, but this movie I kind of takes the cake.
Yeah.
Well, the 90s kind of picked up where the 80s left off and just kind of
Not
went in more
necessarily.
directions. It went in different
No.
directions, but it's still, as far as, at this point in the 90s, this is when, the rap music videos were like bling laden and,
I guess we're still in the point where we're like ultra 80s.
yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean,
80s
was,
on steroids until it drops off and things become gray and bland and
yeah,
I don't know.
it was like, instead of pastels like from the 80s or, what do you call that? Fluorescent. It was more like, maroons and some earthen tones, but out of that came like just some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And so it had like a different color palette to it in the 90s.
Flav, yes, peak 80s. That's the perfect term.
Oh, and it also has this chill box effect. It can freeze things. So it was like everything in one. But the thing is, it's something that I guess we do see later in Flowston when those scenes happen. But it's something where the weapon itself was really just more for, I think, entertainment value for this scene. And then here he goes to check out his booty and opens it up and closes it again and says, "This is an empty case. Why did you bring me an empty case?" His accent
You nailed the accent.
his accent was awesome. Yeah, and then it cuts away quickly here to where she's like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha." And that's where she says that she that we brought an empty case, basically, is what she was explaining, and the stones themselves are going to be delivered through another method, and we'll find that out in a minute. But now he's upset about the empty case thing, and she's explaining that the stones will be delivered by a diva, and we just need to go to a hotel in Flowston or whatever and retrieve them, and that's where the hotel will be. And then she goes, "Dot," and pointing out the hotel, and I just love the way she says that, "Dot." Oh man, they had fun with this. It was intelligent but fun. All right, so now he's like upset about this. That I wanted 4 stones in the cases, and you brought me 0. So I'm not going to give you your 4 cases. It's 4 cases of guns for 4 stones, and since I got 0 stones, you're getting 0 cases. Now they didn't like that. He's holding the number 4 up to them, but they don't like that. It's like, we still took risks in doing this stuff. We got the case, and we should at least get something. And he decides, all right, we'll leave you with 1 case. But as he walks out, he's talking to his assistant. You would think they would notice that on this weapon there is this big blinking red light, and the guy does notices it and presses it, and that's what happens. So they kind of blew themselves up. Although I do believe he did survive, because I think that's the same one we see later. So I don't know. But in any case, we get a good explosion there. So we get the idea that at least he did some damage to them. All right. I think we're going to pick up here next time because I'm feeling that, we've had a number of things go wrong tonight. The flow is kind of, I don't know. But we could leave it to the chat. Should we do the next set of slides, or should we stop right here?
Chap, what do you think?
If we do the next set of slides, basically I did everything up until they leave for Flowston or Floston, however it's pronounced. So if we do the next set, then we pick up with Floston for the second half next week, or we'll just start from here. We won't have the background information on Eric Serra to do next week, so we should be able to fit everything in. I'm going to leave it up to the chat.
We have one vote for keep going.
One vote?
One vote. You should do a poll.
A poll?
Yes.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Come on.
All right.
Let's do it
Okay.
officially.
I feel bad for swappers. It's probably like 3 a.m. there.
It's getting there. It is getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing, Flav's out there too. But if
Oh,
Flav is one of those.
we got a vote for picking up from this point next week. Works for me.
Okay. I think we're going to do that. Yeah. We're going to be kind and rewind.
Yes.
But thank you all for joining us, Flav and Stitch and Scott and Mike, the new
Mike.
Mike.
And we got some other new viewers as well.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to submit a tick about the stuff happening tonight, but I noticed the slides didn't disappear after I removed some of the ones that I had already done. So it looks like I just need to keep fewer slides. Now, the other thing, the video player, why that disappeared, I don't know. And probably I could, work that out. But we are getting to the end of March, and I think I'm going to try out OBS Talk Studio. That's about the only one that I haven't tried yet.
Not heard of it.
Well, I'm going to try it on its free mode, see how much I can, see how. I'm not going to use it on a stream in free mode. I definitely would not do it that way, but I'm going to just play with it and just stream to like a private video just to test it out. And if I feel like it'll function better for us, we might switch to that. But that would be for April anyway, because I'm on a month-to-month thing. But StreamYard, oh man, maybe in the future, maybe in some time where we're able to.
Someone in the chat mentioned that other streamers are having problems with StreamYard. That wouldn't be a great switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess here it's the devil you know.
Yeah.
And Eevee Mux does have some features that I do like being able to set up these scenes ahead of time. But we'll see. At least tonight, I think that slide thing shouldn't happen again. I'll just only have a few up and then remove them and add the other ones as I go. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Swap Shop. I'm sorry if this was a bit of a crazy night for you with all sorts of glitchy stuff.
No, it's
happening.
fine. It's fine. Don't mind at all. It was great.
We love having you, and we hope you'll be able to join us next week. But if you can't, that's no problem either.
I shall certainly try, definitely.
Okay, that would be
Absolutely love to have you back.
awesome. You never know if you don't try.
Exactly.
All right. So anyway, I got to get one of those audio reactive things like Liza has.
I made this one.
I know. The difference is
If you had Windows, I could make you one too. But
Yeah.
you went to Linux. I can't do anything about that.
well, yeah, no, I'm kind of committed to the Linux thing now.
No, you could probably
Yeah.
make your own in Pure Data. If you can do it in Macs, you could probably do it in Pure Data.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, yeah, and who else joined us tonight? We'd like to say good night to the chat, and it's just I've been so busy with the problems, Liza. Do you have anybody that I forgot to give a shout out to?
I could run
common
down,
people.
yeah,
early on.
common
That's
people.
awesome.
We have I could run down the chat. I'll tell you. Thank you, Scott, the great diehard, Stitch, Diego, welcome, Flav. Thank you so much for returning. Mike, welcome for the first time. We got Stitch already.
Yeah.
I'm just at Velma Drinkledge, welcome.
Oh, Velma Drinkledge.
Yeah, she was here.
Swappers has said that name before, I remember.
Actually, Robot Head was here.
Robot Head. Awesome. From
Dalek Bread
Australia.
was here.
Dalek Bread. Yes.
Yes.
Often in the Trev Retro chat.
And Howie Dewitt was here. Hal Murray 9000 Pub Motherboard was here. Okay. that is Mr. Swap Shop. Of course, Star Wars Retold was here. Ford
and-
was here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that now that we're signing off. I just want to leave folks with
Dark Side of the
that.
Wiki.
I am going to type
Mr.
this into
Brown?
the chat. Oh, Mr. Brown was here.
Mr. Brown was here. Yeah, early
Awesome
on.
beans.
Bayona Rad, of course.
Oh, Bayona.
Yes. And just running quickly here. And I think I got everyone who participated in the chat.
Okay.
And I
am-
thank for everyone who didn't participate in the chat. We still appreciate you.
All right. I'm going to leave everybody with something in the chat. Or actually, maybe, Liza, you can do it because
All right.
you're probably there. Please type in the link to Star Wars Retold so folks can just go straight. This is what you should do tonight. When you guys are getting ready to go to bed, go to Star Wars Retold and just start listening, to the story.
It's convenient. You can listen while you're doing things.
Yeah.
I had to stop doing things because I just wanted to sit down and listen. You delayed me,
Oh
Mr.
no.
Swap Shop,
Right.
in getting my office organized. It was so good. Bravo.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Did you listen to the latest one?
Yep.
Number 4.
Number 4, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to all of them straight through, all the way
wow.
through number 4, and I was upset that there wasn't a number 5.
I must be doing something right then. If
Are.
if you're enjoying it that much, that's good news.
Oh, it was great. So entertaining, and I'm so liking the direction you've taken it. Anyways, no spoilers. I'm not going to give the audience any spoilers. So let me get the link up here for everyone to go. Please go
I
to
popped
the
it in.
Star Wars Retold. Okay, perfect.
I just popped it in. So there
Go
we go.
sub. People, please.
Go sub. And yeah, that's all you need to help keep the mission going is sub and leave a comment and share the love.
Please do. Please do.
All right, folks, we are going to sign off now. And I'm going to, I don't know, what do you call it? Start working on next week already. I got the material together, but I got to work on EV Mux and get this thing going. All right, folks. Farewell, and thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for coming. See you next.
8:56. We are now leaving the air.